I wanted to congratulate the three of you as the finalists for the Model Charter Award. Now, what your schools are doing are both unique and inspiring, and it really encompasses what this award is, which is student empowerment, community involvement, and innovation. And you guys also had such an amazing record of success and student achievement. So congratulations. Now, before we start, I'd love for you guys to introduce yourselves and also say something about your school. So we'll start with you, Tracy.
I'm Tracy Malcolm. I am the elementary campus director at Arizona Autism Charter Schools out of Phoenix, Arizona. And something unique about our school, oh my goodness, we have amazing students, and all of which are at unique places in their life, and to see their growth is nothing less than a miracle on many days, and I'm blessed to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah. It's an amazing school. It's beautiful. Dr. T.
My name is Doğan Tozoğlu, as known as Dr. T, proud leader and co-founder of River City Science Academy Charter Schools. I have been with the school since the inception when we submit our application. We have 6 campuses in Duval County and STEM-focused college-bound program. What I love our school is first when we started, our focus was math and science. Later on, that transitioned to the STEM focus, and then we were able to merge and be the first, STEM school in the county, perhaps in the state back then. I'm proud to be, part of this excellent institution.
Yeah, hi, I'm Carlos Gonzalez. I'm the founding principal and currently the executive director of Hive Preparatory School in Miami, Florida. We're a K-8 school with about 900 kids, Title I. And definitely something about our school is the heights it's reached. And it's just the levels that we've set, they just keep attaining it and they keep reaching in. And it's just been beautiful to watch in the culture. So despite some of our differences and some of our programming and some of our specialties, in general, just to be able to see a culture or a community like this really meet those expectations and just keep accepting the next challenge has been wonderful.
Thank you. And we all know the community and parents are so important to the school community. So can you tell us how you engage your parents and community? And Dr. T, we'll start with you.
Sure. I will say, we are in the pioneer of the, community engagement in Jacksonville. First of all, when we first started, we said, we are going to be open our doors to the community and business leaders, community leaders, and our parents. We have an open door policy for our parents, and in the community, we start, organizing and including then our events. For example, one of the events that we are hosting is we host the STEM and Health Expo. That's the biggest expo in the county that our students, showcasing their talents in their booths. And then we invite all the community partners to that event. More than 4,000 participants, people, from all over the town, they are coming and see the talents of our kids. And furthermore, we have been organizing international days. It's like the World of Nation in each school, but this year we tried every campus is gonna come together. Each campus received several continents to celebrate our diversity, and it was open to public. And you ask support from the families. They bring their cultural foods, their displays, and you have all those booths run by the students, as well as the parents' involvement. Then you invite the community to that event. More than 1,000 participants we have. In addition, the parent conferences, student mentorship programs, and then all the competitions that we have joining. For example, in a science Olympiad competition, we have parent coaches. They are coming and mentoring our students as well. And we became the champions at the state level. We are gonna be representing the state of Florida at the National Science Olympiad competition. This year, we are going to Michigan State University. And also, we have partnership with the colleges and universities. We have internship programs. As a matter of fact, we started a paid internship program at our school. And the kids at the college, they come and mentoring our students. They teach how to do mentorship to our high school kids. Our high school kids, they can mentor to our lower grade levels. So that's a lot of involvement and activities going on daily at our school. I am really, like losing keep track, like all the fall festivals, STEM nights, all the, like picnics, parent nights, like those happening here throughout the year.
It just keeps the school alive when you
yes.
involve so many, Carlos.
We also have all the typical parent involvement programs, ASAC, PTOs, activities, and so forth. But I would say the greatest attribute with our parent involvement is what we've designed is the tell us approach. So as we do a lot of these meetings, like it really is to listen to them, to get to where their perspective is, because we think we know what we're doing and we think we're reaching them, but we've really been able to set up a culture at the school where when we're doing all these meetings, including our parent conferences and so forth, that we intentionally put a section in there to say, like, give us your perspective and utilize your talents. I learned a long time ago that there's a lot of talent out there, and even just in a small group setting. So we've asked a lot of those questions, and then what we've been able to get is just a lot of things that we do in the school that would never fit my personality, for example, but because we had this skill set with groups of parents, they were able to run with it and do things that just bettered our community with something that would never have really been able to enter my sphere, at least.
Okay, Tracy.
So we do the same thing. We have PTO, we have, different entities. We have, we invite our parents onto campus for science fair and different community engagement, opportunities. But we do have one thing that is unique to us is because we have so many families that over 80% of our students have autism, and another additional 10 to 12% have different diagnoses. And as I mentioned in my impact speech, when you're a special needs parent, you undergo a lot of stress in your life. There's a lot of things going on in your life, and oftentimes our families don't feel the support in a traditional public school setting. So many times our families that come to us are pretty beat up and emotionally, and so I have been really reaching out to our families to let them know that we are a safe place, that we are not going to judge you, that please come to us. If you have a problem with your child's IEP, that's okay. We're going to fix it. My role actually for next school year is shifting because we actually feel like we need even more support for our families. And they just a full, well-rounded program, because yes, the kids are getting a lot of what they need in our school, but our families need that too. So I'm actually going to be moving over to director of parent engagement, as well as our teacher program. So I'm just really excited because that's where my heart is. My daughter is my light, as you mentioned, and I want other parents to know that it's going to be okay. And yeah, there's times it's hard. But we are here to support everybody, not just the child.
That's great. And I remember when we first started at True North, we reached out and we wanted to see what other successful schools were doing, and we would meet with different leaders and just take back what they were doing that helped make them successful and what worked, because there's so many great programs and strategies to use. And in turn, now that, we're a successful charter school, we try to help other leaders and other schools that are just starting, which is wonderful. So what are ways that you all are reaching out to different schools and kind of paying it forward and sharing your expertise? Carlos?
Sure. So I'm fortunate that I'm a part of the Principals Liaison Committee for Charter School Leaders in Miami-Dade County. So we play this role of kind of being the voice for the charter school leaders in our regions, for our sponsor or state and so forth. So through that position, I'm able to be in the position to communicate with schools, listen to what their needs are or concerns. And actually, I would say one of the best ways I help is direct them to people who are doing a really good job. So I don't really think I have the answer very often, but I do say, wow, you know what, you should check out True North, or you should check out School A, School B, School C, and connect them with leaders and be able to say, hi, so-and-so leader, this is Mr. Gonzalez. I wanted to connect you with someone. So I've found that being able to do that has been very good, because it also creates a circle for them in addition. And maybe once in a while, I'm able to answer or provide them a little support.
So for us, I think I will start that, like since the inception, we were able to create a great relationship with our sponsoring district. Our relationship is excellent. And then we trust each other, and I don't shy asking questions to them. And through that relationship, through our programs, policies, procedures, like every time a new charter comes on board, or is anything, like anybody needs help for something, our district will always refer them to RCSA. Go talk to the RCSA. They'll tell you what they are doing. Go see RCSA. Like they will help you. And then we are not shy sharing our secrets, like we are in the same boat. And that is the relationship we have with the other charters and with our district. If there is something district is gonna try or ask us for a compliance, first they try on us, like they talk to us, hey, River City, we are gonna implement this, but we wanna try on you first before giving to the other charters to see what you think. So that relationship, like over the years, help us to be able to, like a key player, like at this network. And also, as a charter school, we are part of the charter school consortiums and the alliance in here, like we always talk about, like the issues and the help us each other. We love to host, like all the meetings, like from the district at our school.
For us, we have a very structured model that we have to implement and replicate in every single one of our campuses. That is so that because of when ASAC was first developed, they developed it with autism parents as well as clinical psychologists. And they looked at what is the best and optimal model that children with autism would respond to, which is that structured classroom model, the small classroom, the 3-station rotation. So when we have guests that come in and they tour our school and they go, wow, I want to replicate that. It's really, I don't know, it's an amazing program that we have with board adopted curriculum and all the things. But we also, use goals that are centered around, peak which is for our more functional students or severe prevalent students. And we use iReady as data tracking. And so we use that for our academic program. So our National Accelerator, for example, we have some of these different states coming in. We just hosted the National Accelerator, and they watched how we track engagement. And so it takes time to share what we do, but it's so important to us that if the model that we do at ASAC is going to be replicated, that we want it to be done with fidelity and integrity as well, because it's so important that our kids get the best education that they can.
Awesome. And, it's interesting and exciting because True North had its first graduating class last year. And it's so awesome. Thank you. And it was so awesome to see what they're doing now, where they went to school, what their successes are, and how the school actually helped them in college. So Dr. T, what are your kids doing? Do you have any good success stories?
Our first charter renewal, like the district came to our school as a renewal committee. It's just army of people, like we go through our processes, like to making sure we are in compliance for everything. And we got the highest extension in that year, like they gave us 10-year extensions later, like we got 15 years extensions. But in that committee, on that renewal meeting, I told them, like Dr. T has a dream. I told them, like I will see one day, I hope to see one day, we will have graduates. They're going to go to the college and they'll come back and work with us side by side. That was my dream back then. Then I have seen that dream started coming true. Currently, we employ around 15 full-time, more than 30 part-time alumni at our school in different positions.
Oh, that's amazing.
And we are working there, either teachers, counselors, IT specialists, paraprofessionals, or like anything we need. So we open our door, and I tell my graduates, like you will have guaranteed job if you want to go to the teaching field and create that pipeline. And anytime I see, because we have also started, we are not K-12, we look at the K-16. We started an alumni program as well. I have an alumni coordinator. We visiting them. We go to the Tallahassee to see our kids at the Florida State. We go to the Orlando to see our kids at the UCF. And we go to the Gainesville to see our kids, like at UF. I graduated my kid 2 years ago. I gave her diploma.
Congratulations.
I gave him diploma, like now he's in second year college student at UF. This year, I am graduating my daughter.
Oh, that's
So excited to that.
yeah.
Even though we are gonna be empty nest.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Congratulations. And Carlos, with you, I know you have a K through 8 school. How, when they leave your school, are they able to find their way at equally challenging high schools and high performing schools? How are they doing?
It took us about 5 or 6 years for people to realize that we're a real school. So like they just didn't know Hive Prep, and when they I guess they didn't look it up. And so like I'm just knocking on every door of every school, just saying like, please look us up, and we're a school, and I think you're gonna like our kids. And now it's the other way around. So now we treat it like they're going to college. We mirror what it's going to be like when they're in high school to go to college, so that that's not their first time. And what that's evolved to is that now what's happening is that we're having our kids trained to go make their high school the rigor and the type of school that they deserve. So go get involved, go talk to the counselor, go learn what classes can be offered and should be offered, and why isn't it offered? If not, I'm going somewhere else. And what's happening now is those principals are coming to Hive and they're doing presentations, and they're like, we're scared of you guys because like you guys are showing up and you're really putting a challenge to us. So we took the approach, being that in a community where maybe some of the high schools or most of the high schools were not meeting the expectations that we would love, and we're going to help them reach that. And I think we've been getting really close, so I'm pretty proud of that.
They're making their mark, which is amazing. So congratulations to you. And Tracy, after high school, what are the options for your students? How are they doing and using the skills they learned at your school?
It really depends on the individual student and their IEP. Some students graduate right when they should, after 12th grade, and we have students that have gone to college. We have students, the sky's the limit. We are fully accredited. Our first graduating class was in 2022. And we graduated 6 kids, and it was precious. I know, it was so cute. There's a video, and it is remarkable just to hear the attestations from the students about what ASACs did for them. It's beautiful, beautiful stories. So the other students may end up graduating when they're 22, 23 years old. Or 21, it just depends on where they're at. And then they're going to be going to the new Essential Peace Adult Entrepreneurial Program so that they can get essential life skills, because Diana, our founder, doesn't want the students to just go to like an adult daycare. That's not, because they're not doing that at our school. They're doing cooking, they're doing life skills. They've learned how to fold sheets, you name it. they aren't just sitting around doing nothing in school. They are learning and they're making progress. And that is something that we need to continue that into adulthood for these kids.
Another question that we would like to ask is that, teachers are such a vital and important part of our school culture and what we call is our family. So how do you attract and retain teachers that have that excellence in mind?
We are all suffering probably the same exact thing, which is the teacher shortage. It's hard to find teachers, especially for our unique population. But we have started to develop, and we're in our second year now of our teacher academy. So anyone with a bachelor's degree who has a passion for working with our community can join our teacher academy for free, and they teach with our students, and then they train. So it's essentially like a master's level program. At the end of that program, they become certified special education teachers in the state of Arizona. We're the only charter school in Arizona that actually has this program that's been approved. And I'm going to be taking that over next year too. So I'm excited about that. I know I'm going to be a little busy, but I'm passionate about it. I want our teachers to learn how to work with our kids, because it's, there's differences, there's nuances. So that's one of the things that we do to attract and retain our teachers.
There are several ways we do at our campuses. One is, of course, you have to have a competitive salary and benefits, to be able to attract them. I think at this point, we were able to make that move to be able to compete with the surrounding counties and the schools. And plus the benefits in Florida, Florida retirement system is very important. And we are one of the rare charter schools offering that benefits, even though it's very costly. That helps us, able to recruit teachers from all over Florida and outside of Florida. Secondly, your assets, the biggest asset is your people, your teachers, So we do everything to be able to, show them they are valued, they are respected, and it's their home as well. And we give them lots of freedom and flexibility, and we listen to them. And for example, I personally have tours around the campuses, I have one day I go and sit in the break room and I talk to every teacher comes to the break room, introduce myself. I'll talk to them, hey, this is Dr. T, this is if you don't know me, what can I do for you? I just say hi, listen to their concerns. If anything I can do, they say most of the time they are pleased to talk to me. And if they have anything to say, they tell me. At the same time, our school leaders do the same. They have breakfast with the teachers, lunch with the teachers, small group talks, or one-on-one talks. That's the informal, not observation. Just give them, an opportunity to get the feedback, not throw out of the window, but to make sure, those feedbacks have been listened, taken into consideration, and show them it has been implemented as well. The next thing I will say, we do our own career fairs. So we said, this will work. Actually, it did work. We started, as a pilot in one school, announced it, to the social media. All of a sudden, we get lots of applicants in every single position. If one hire is a plus, so considering this shortage. So that's something, we started doing our own career fairs in our campuses, that help us recruit teachers. And also we go to almost every career fairs, at the colleges too, whether in Florida or in Georgia, close by, that's something we do. And most importantly, we were able to make that happen, have a partnership with the college, with the University of North Florida teaching program. We are hosting their interns every year. It was really hard to, get those in, but we knock their doors every day. We start with the small pieces, but once they see your campus and your teachers and the support around them, we build a good relationship with them. Now we started an associate teacher program. It's paid internship. So what we did, I ask our principal, like you gotta sacrifice one position from each campus, like just we will host an intern at our school, and in turn, like we are gonna pay them, but they will commit to work with us for a year. Once they start with us, like we support them, like they are our angels. So we do everything, like to make them happy. At the same time, we tell them you get the full experience, not the teaching part. They do school duties, they do tutorings, they meet with the teachers, parents, like that's the whole yard, like, so they are getting ready. Once they graduated, they become a full-time teacher, like, and we always need teachers, and also for the new teachers, we have a mentorship program. And school coaches, like in every single campus, like we are supporting them every day, because one of the thing is teachers usually quit if they don't get enough support at the end of the first year. So we want to sure, like that their first year is supported and they have a good experience, and then have that passion continue for the upcoming years.
And it's great how you integrate those interns with everything, every aspect of the school, so they really get a taste of what it is to be a teacher. Awesome. Carlos?
So the first thing that we focus on is being really honest and clear with who we are and what the expectations of every position, so that they know, number one, they're comfortable, and then number two, they understand what the expectations are with regards to the business. So we spend a lot of time in the interviews, and even in round 2 and round 3 after the offers are there, to be very clear, so that there's no trepidation and that there's comfort, and then like the do's and the don'ts and so forth. But once we get past that stage, then we pay a lot of attention as an administrative team to getting to know them. Everyone's motivated differently. Everyone has different strengths, different weaknesses. So I've shied away or moved away from very strategic programming and induction programming through the years, because it kind of felt like it was going through the motions. But we do our best to pay a lot of attention for new teachers, of really getting to understand them and building a strong relationship, because number one, when you know them, then you can provide the type of help they deserve. And then number two, when they know you, they trust you, and then you can have the kind of conversations that you should be having. So while we do induction programs and while we do programs with the colleges, we're real proud of our paraprofessional program, which is similar to yours, or probably exactly the same. But what we do is we have about 6 or 7 paraprofessionals on the campus, and they're College of Education majors, and then we treat them like teachers, and they go to planning. There are substitutes, and when they sub, we treat them like teachers, and we work with them that way. And the idea is they're ed majors. So first thing we teach them is, do you really want to do this? Now, you could change your major later, like before you graduate. So that's very helpful for all of us, I think. But also number two, they really develop those skill sets to the point when we do have visitors, I go to those rooms on purpose and tell them, by the way, that's a college sophomore. And usually people take a step back and say, wow, so your substitute teachers are actually classroom teachers and so forth. And by the time they're rookies, they're not really rookies. But I would say by far the most important part is really getting to know them, and them really getting to know you. So that way it could be a good marriage or a good divorce, whatever it is, but at least good is in front of them.
Oh, that's great. And just to stick with you really quick, so you're a Title I school. So you said that when we've talked, that you make the most of every minute. And you said that in your impact talk a little while ago. So what exactly does that mean? And also, like, how did your school bridge those learning gaps that some of those kids might have had?
So we get 60 minutes to do math. And step one is, what math is happening? What are the resources? Were we trained for it? So you just continue the scaffolding to get to the point where we think we're going to be as good as we can be in those 60 minutes. So we go through those 60 minutes and we have 20-something students, 25, 30 students in a classroom with teacher A, and then another one with teacher B, and so forth. And you're just analyzing how it's going, and you're identifying with the teacher, with the rest of your admin, what's going well, what's not going well, where are our deficiencies, where are our strengths. Then we sit as a team, and the first thing we say is, you're not going to have to do all the other things, teacher. You're not going to have to now go figure out how to get those you're not getting outside of what can we do within the class. Are we differentiating? Are we engaging? Where can we go? But what else is missing? What do we think? And from those conversations, you usually come up with some kind of ideas, or we start making phone calls and finding out what other people do. Then we sit down as a team and say, okay, these kids need more minutes. And then we have to find a way to get more minutes done for what they're doing. In some cases, that's where your paraprofessionals come in, because part of their schedule is to support that additional math that group might not be getting within their 60 minutes that they're having there. In other cases, it's a schedule change that means we need more time here. So for example, in our middle school, we went with the 8-period world, which is 4 on A day and 4 on B day, because you have math, science, social studies, language arts that are required, and then a half a PE and then an elective. So we always had 2.5 classes a year that are additional to us, which equals 6 maybe classes by the time they're finishing. And in some cases, it's 2 math classes that are needed to be able to get them to reach those goals, to fill those gaps. So instead of saying this kid is 3 years below reading, let's put them in intensive reading and give them like a 3rd grade reading curriculum to see if we're going to get them there, what we said was, let's put them in an ELA class. Is Springboard the program we like? And we hear it's very rigorous. Yes. Okay, so this group's a little lower, so let's double the amount of Springboard they get. Instead of giving them a 90-minute block of ELA, we're going to give them 2 90-minute blocks of ELA, because we have that 8-period schedule embedded in there. And let's make their homeroom teacher be the ELA teacher, so you can use those minutes properly and dismissal minutes properly. And right there, we're winning something. We're closing the gap, we think. And then if it doesn't work, what else are we going to do? Or does it have to change, which it doesn't? So what we found is that that's been very, very good. Our elementary scores are strong, but our middle school scores are stronger. And that shines in our community, because historically middle school is the weakest in our community, and dramatically. And what we're seeing in our middle school is an acceleration of learning. Our groups of intensive readers are this, like out of 100 kids in a grade level, we have 4 of them that are needing to be worked on, because they're just somehow getting it. But that's what we do. We create the space where we have to determine where the gap is and why, and then as a team, we're going to figure out how to do it without putting the burden or all the burden on the teacher.
And Tracy, I'd love to hear what makes your school different from other schools who serve your population.
I think the first thing is the really small class environment. The fact that our highest academic class, what happens is when we screen a student, they get pulled for the lottery. We look at various factors. We look at their IEP, we look at their grade level, we meet the parents, and then we also screen the child. And so we have 3 academic levels that we place our kiddos in. Our academic class, which is for our kids who are mostly at grade level. And then we have our modified program, and that class taps out at 10 kids. So the higher the need, the less students there are, so that we can really provide that individualized instruction. And then our most impacted kiddos are severe profound. We tap out at 8 students. And so what makes this different then is that we break our instructional model into 3 station rotation. So a 90-minute ELA class, our kids can't sit through 90 minutes of English language arts. They can't. 60 minutes of math is a killer for some of our kids. They have, some of them have the attention span of 5 minutes. And that might be generous in some cases. So we do full group instruction for a limited amount of time. It's usually 12 to 15 minutes. And then we break into our 3-station rotation model. We have visual timers going, and there's always something going on. The teacher-led station is teaching the core standard, whatever the standard is for that day. And then we have our red station, which is either going to be our iReady or peak station. And then our blue station is our reteaching station. So closing those gaps, differentiating the instruction, or working on IEP goals. And those stations rotate every 15 minutes. And embedded into that is also, just the social emotional needs of the child. So if we know a child it can work for maybe 2 minutes and then needs a 1-minute break, we use ABA language like first thens. First, you got to do your work and then you get a break. It really is highly individualized. So and it just works like clockwork. And if you look at every classroom at ASACs, they're all set up the same way, because our kids thrive on that structure. And they thrive. They love it. They know exactly what's expected of them. They know exactly what's expected of them behaviorally. Is it perfect? Gosh, no. There's days that some kids just come in and they're just having a bad day. But we have behavior support embedded into the program so that if a child does need to take a break, they need to take a walk, we're there to support them. But, we don't just send kids home. We hear so many stories of parents say, well, my child just kept getting sent home because their behavior was so bad. I'm like, oh, you can't do that. No, that's not going to help. So, we really pride ourselves on ensuring that every child in every classroom every day is getting what they need.
Great. And Dr. T, lastly, for you, how do you maintain the quality in each of your campuses consistent? Because as schools grow and develop, you run into different things. So how do you maintain that?
What we did, when we start growing, of course, you need to empower your teachers, your administrators, and we make a lot of investment growing our own leaders within as well. So every time we open a new campus, what we usually did, we send one of our experienced leaders, from one campus to the other campus, send a lead teacher to another campus, send a couple of, key personnel over there so they can maintain our school culture and start that, that has been very helpful. And as you come and see our administrators, most of them, they have been a teacher, started as a teacher and take different roles as a school administrator. It doesn't mean we are close to, hiring people from outside. We are open to them, but it's just when they come, they know the expectations very well. I think that was the key for us, to maintain our success. Always we make sure we have some key personnel in every single campus that can maintain our school culture across the board.
Yeah, it's important to have those anchors at different campuses. That culture is so important, so it stays consistent. Okay, thank you. I applaud you for everything that you're doing, your amazing leadership and what you are doing with your schools. And I wish you the best of luck. Thank you again for being part of this.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you.
you.